Welcome to I Okoro Property Insights, where smart property decisions create lasting wealth.
In our today's video, we are going to dwell mainly on the mistakes people make when they are investing in real estate, particularly the first comers in real estate space. Now, before I say that, I'd like to remind you that housing is a critical factor of production since the creation of man on earth by God. No man, no woman, no country does or do anything without land and building. Everything takes place on land. Even when we die, we are buried on land. You cannot take off, even if you want to go and fight war, you take off from the land. Whatever you want to go by sea, it is part of land. Because what is permanently fixed to land is part of the land. And that is why anything that has to do with housing, with land and the environment, they are critical to our existence. So we must have to look at those mistakes people make. Not just that they cannot lose their money, but also to ensure that they help in the maintenance of the ecosystem, as well as creating a better environment for our children unborn. Because the geographical space of land and land resource is limited by God. We cannot increase the size of any land unless in a waterlogged area, the highest you can do is to reclaim the land. Or you go skyscraper. But for you to add additional space to what God has created as part of land is not possible. Now, before I go straight to that point, I'd like to let our viewers know that I'm not just talking because I'm in this field to make a living. No, I'm talking because I am an authority in real estate. This is what I studied at the University of Lagos. And I'm happy to say that Dr. I Okoro is a fellow of Nigerian Institution of Estate, Service and Values. I'm also a fellow of Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. Fellow Society of Construction Industry Arbitrators. These are very serious professional institutions. It took me so many years of certifications to become elevated as a fellow of these prestigious institutions. And that is why when I talk, I believe I talk as an authority in the land and landed issues in Nigeria. Now, I want to go straight to the first mistake that we make. Our parents make, our brothers, our sisters, our friends, and even some institutions. First is that before you go to buy any piece of land, especially if it is not in your village that you can easily trace the route by gift from your forefathers and so on and so forth. There is a traditional system of identifying land ownership and associated title even before the creation of Land Use Act of 1978, by the federal government during the Obasanjo military administration. Before that, we used to have systems of land title evidences. So the first thing you have to do, if you are dealing outside your traditional environment, that is your village or whatever, that you can say, yes, because by occupation your forefathers have been living on this land even before the Land Use Act and so on and so forth, that the title revolves around your family level. Then you have the right to prove it. But remember, by the creation of the Land Use Act of 1978, every land in any state is now vested in the governor of that state as a trustee of the people. So that is why the governor is the only person empowered by law within a particular state to give you what they call certificate of occupancy. That certificate of occupancy is your title that defines your interest, because what we're actually selling or transferring is not that physical piece of land, but the unexhausted interest on the land. So if you go to the local government, for instance, we have what we call statutory right of occupancy, RIO, and that is issued by the local government chairman as consented by the governor of the state. Now, for lands outside urban areas, but these ones that within the urban area, the governor oversees it, right? That's the way, that is what the stipulations of the Land Use Act of 1978. But if it is on the federal government has the right to issue. That's why now you have federal government certificate of occupancy. You have state, where federal and state has conflicting interests. The federal overrides the interest of the state. So it is only if the federal is coming to the state to do development that the state governor is instructed to issue certificate of occupancy in some cases where there was none to the federal government. Now, having said this, if you want to go and buy land, one of the mistakes is that some go on their own without even an estate surveyor and valuer. You have to have a professional consultant well trained in that field to guide you. For instance, in this case, you look for an estate surveyor and valuer. It is to help you in your land acquisition. But where it involves a detailed search, that estate surveyor and valuer will now invite a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, but lawyers that are well schooled in land matters to complement the effort of the estate surveyor and valuer, as long as title search and registrations are concerned. So what am I trying to say? If you are the first comer coming to invest in real estate, either in Lagos or any part of the country, please, first of all, ascertain, and that again will be done through your consultant. Don't do it on your own. Otherwise, you will lose your money and burn your interest. The first thing you will do is to go through the town planning law or situation to know whether that thing you want to invest, to know the land use zoning of the area, because every state government zoned all the lands in the states for industrial, for agricultural, for residential, for institutional, and so on and so forth. Some are zoned as residential or mixed use. If you on your own go to where government has zoned for agriculture, and because you have money, you did not do your search, you just move in, pay through whoever claims ownership, but you haven't done your studies, and then you start building housing estate there. You know that the fiscal planning authority of that state will clamp on you, and your investment would wipe away because they won't refund you. Nobody forced you to go and begin to do mismatch investment. That is investing in residential where have been zoned for agriculture. So get an estate surveyor and valuer to help you to go to make land use search, and then make sure that there is appropriate survey plan in place for that, and with beacons clearly marked. And then again, make sure that it is not within the acquisition area of the federal government or state government or even local government. For instance, where future railway will pass, or where oil and gas pipelines will pass, you go and begin to buy because you have money. You have not got survey to determine the land and the future use, or whether there is an excision by the state government, you just go and buy. When you have wasted all your money, built everything, government will say, sorry, that this place is a exercise area meant for railway, future railway, or meant for future airport development, or meant for overriding public interest. So what are you going to do? You would have wasted the money you borrowed from bank or the savings you made all your life just because you decided not to involve a professional. Let us assume that you have done all those checks. What about the title? Make sure you go with SS surveyor and valuer in most cases, and in some cases you can go with your lawyer to go and search for title. And make sure that even the title you are being presented with is not cloned. Because the fact that you have a certificate of occupancy, some people clone it, 419ers clone it, and then if you go and act on that without charting and making sure that what you are holding is real, you also would have succeeded in wasting your money and putting yourself into investment risk. So, search for a right title is very important. Search for zoning, land use zoning, very, very important. Search for making sure that what you are buying is not inconsistent with what the government is planning. For instance, if I've said it before, if you go to where the government has zoned for building airport, new airport for the area, maybe you didn't know, and you go and invest and they build, they will demolish it. You remember even in the case of Lagos, where a lot of people, and again, water channels, some people go and invest on water channels because they did not make professional searches from qualified professionals like us. And then you go and buy property where government will widen for water flood to pass. Of course, that property will be demolished. Or those who go to invest near the airport where the plane takes off, it's very dangerous because of any crash, air crash, or even the noise. So, but if you have done the appropriate search, it's not one day search, it's a very serious matter, so you would have been able to know all these things. So before you put down your money, you would have made sure that these things you're paying for, they exist and they are by law in existence for you to buy and build. Then the next major mistake, I sometimes said it in our earlier video, is who are you working with to make that investment? Are you trusting your in-law to go and do it for you? Are you going to do it through your junior brother or your driver? These are potential risk for you. Why don't you go through a certified professional like I Okoro and Associates? Because our company is registered by law, and apart from being registered with the CSC, we also registered by Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria. This is the professional body that regulates our activities, our professional activities and practice in Nigeria, within the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if, as a certified chartered estate valuer with seal and stamp, and I commit any professional negligence or whatever, that my professional regulator, Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, will be the one to punish me. So you that is using our services, you are not running at any risk, because it is the professional body that will make sure that we are fished out and punished accordingly. But if you have done it on your own, or you think that because we are well established, and then you go and look for one quack that is not managing to survive somewhere in Ajegunle, because he will charge you 10,000 naira. You go with him. He's not schooled in the sophisticated area of land in the university and passing all the professional examination to qualify, and just because you think you can dash him 500,000 instead of paying a full fee, you go and get him, you will not only lose your money, you will also have burnt all the time and all the resources you have saved over many years. So there are a lot of mistakes people do. And that is why we will continue to say that if you like what we are saying, you can go to our comment sections and drop your views. If you have some questions you want to ask, feel free to ask us. And the most important thing is we are trying to create this opportunity so that people will not take any investment in real estate for granted. This is a very serious matter. Real estate, housing. Take for instance, you were a government worker and you have worked for 35 years, maybe you are now 60 or 65 and you are retired. And the little gratuity the government gave to you, you decided to go and put it in real estate so that you can house your family. Unfortunately, because you're trying to be economical and not having strict wisdom, you want to go to unregistered real estate practitioners so you can get it cheaper. Instead of coming to pay your 10% to I Okoro and that's for our agency, you want to go where they will give you just 100,000 naira as fee. Then you will lose all the thing you have saved. Which one is more convenient for you? To go to a professional firm that will help you and guide you up to the point you move into the house with your family and begin to enjoy your life. Or when you go through that uneducated person who will lead you to astray. All that money you have saved for 65 years, you burn all of them. House, you don't get for your family. The next thing you go, you and your family will begin to move down to village. When you go back to your village people will be asking you, what did you come back to do? And then trouble will start. Before you know it, it's either they do one juju for you or you do to them. And that will be the end of the man, just because you failed to do the right thing. So that is where I have to stop at this point. If you like all that we have been saying in this video, just touch that button there and like and share. Thank you very much. Viewers, in today's video, we're going to explore opportunities of real estate investment where it will be easier for you, your friends, and even those who are thinking that having an estate is outside their reach for now. But one thing you have not known is that information is power. If you want to be a proud property owner, just open your ears and listen to what I am going to tell you right away. The federal government of Nigeria, through Renewed Hope Initiative of Ministry of Housing has come up with opportunity to build over 100,000 housing units within the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja, making it 37 states. Also, the government has made it possible through different funding options and mechanisms for you to easily walk into any bank to say, oh, you want to have your own property. If you are lucky, if that property has been finished, completed, or even up to 75% completed, you will be opportune to access the MREF mortgage opportunity that the federal government has established, whereby the federal government makes available 100 million naira for every subscriber in this country, on condition that you pay 10% down payment as your own equity contribution. If that property had been developed up to 75% or even completed, you will have the opportunity to put down 10%, and then you go to any of the banks. That is one of the disbursing banks, for instance, Access Bank, Fidelity Bank, even First Bank. 20-something banks are the disbursing banks for the federal government for purposes of this MREF mortgage package. All you need to do is come to I Okoro and Associates or Q Shelter. Currently, Q Shelter Limited, in partnership with I Okoro and Associates, are the firms marketing this renewed hope housing estates for the federal government. Presently in Abuja, those of you who live around Abuja and even in Kano, for instance, we have about 1,000 units already developed. In Kano, we have about 1,600 units. 600 have been completed, but 1,000 at various stages of completion in Kasana, near Gwaremba in Abuja district, right? So, if you can visit there right away, you will see those renewed hope estates. Their prices are quite cheap. Some of them rent 3-bedroom with a boys' quarter. You can get for 55 million naira as I'm talking to you. 2-bedroom with boys' quarter, you can get for 45 million naira as I'm talking to you. But you are not going to pay cash. What are you going to do? Because this is, they are qualified for MREF. All you need to do, government will give you 100 million naira. You have to put down, even for that of Abuja we are talking about, if you are buying only one, say 55, 60 million, government will still make available 100 million naira for you. Instead of buying one, you can buy two, provided you put down 10% equity contribution. And then the paperwork, they will demand certain documentations for you. Within 1 month, 2 months, the documentations are through, and they will assign you a house for you once that payment has been disbursed, right? So in Lagos here, we have the 2004 estates. Behind the coastal road, we have 2004 estate. And at a certain level of development now, but I'm sure that by December, the company will be able to deliver up to 500 units. So if you go there too, especially now we are selling with promo prices, the 3-bedroom that is costing about 120 million with boys' quarter, we can knock off 10% for you. Do you understand? And they can still enjoy certain mortgage, but they have to pay 50% of that cost, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you in effect is that they are possible and they are within your reach. But the only problem is that you may not have information to know that this thing is existing. It is real. They are not fictions. These are the efforts the federal government is doing to ensure that the housing deficit in Nigeria is being addressed. No particular government can finish solving the housing problem at a go. It is a going concern, but the present government is making every effort to address this aspect of housing problem in this country. Quietly, they don't make noise about it. But those of us in this industry, we know, and this is the first time in the history of Nigeria that anybody, subscribers are coming closer to owning their home like it's done in London, in the Western world generally, and Europe. That is what this government has started to do. And I know that this is a political period and people will say, oh, are you sure I Okoro is not being paid to make? No. We are the ones selling. If you look at all those signs, you will see that renewed Hope Estate. There, you see the one as Jangoza, Kano. You will also see Kasana, Abuja. You will see Coastal Road. These are things that you can go and verify. Or you can call our office number as they will appear on the screen. We can take you on inspection. And then we will guide you to make sure you get your own house. And even the federal government MREF package, mortgage package is not limited in Lagos. Like I said, even if you are living in any part of the country, as long as that house is up to 75% completed and it has requisite title, you can access that mortgage. If you have a challenge, please call I Okoro and Associates to guide you, to help you, to make sure you own your own housing. But these are the current things we have. Even along Lagos Badagry Express Road, we have over 1,000 units coming up, like 3 bedrooms, like 4-bedroom terrace houses, 4-bedroom duplexes, 4-bedroom detached houses, 5-bedroom houses at various stages of completion. You can go and have a look, not far from Trade Complex. So I Okoro and Associates, we are fully in charge of selling all those units and at affordable prices. So these are the things that are very hot in the market for you to invest in. So do not stay there and be complaining that, oh, house is for the rich. It's not true. With your 10% equity contribution, which is not up to what we used to buy keke na pepe, you will be a proud owner of your own house. So if you like, having listened to me, if you like what I have said, you can go to our comment section and drop your views. If you have any particular question you want to ask there, feel free to ask us. We are here. Our phone is open 24 hours to explain further. You just call us, tell us where you're interested. We will guide you. And then if you like what you have heard, all you need to do is to push the share and like button, and make sure you continue to tune to our channels on the YouTube, and you get every information you may need from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching I Okoro Property Insights. Subscribe, like, and share for more expert real estate insights and investment opportunities.